Alrighty, welcome to the first semifinal that I'll be casting, the first semifinal of the day, and therefore of the first set between Desastres C, in the even colors, and EstamosGG in the odd colors. Perfect. These teams have been through so much. They have survived the group stage. They have survived the first two playoff rounds, and now they are in the semifinals. Deservedly so, I would say. And well, the stakes just get higher and higher and higher. Let's just introduce the players. We'll just start with blue because that's easy to player one. In the blue for EstamosGG, we have El Cochinote playing as the Vietnamese. In the green, we have Iron Churi playing as the Mongols. Interesting pick. In the teal, we have Zippo playing as the Berbers. I like that. And in the gray, we have Piojo playing as the Mayans. In the red, we have Alejo Kamet playing as the Vietnamese as well. So a little bit of a mirror matchup, but then on both sides. So that's nice. In the yellow, we have War Machine playing as the Franks, as if they banned so that the other side could not get it, and they ended up being able to pick that as well. In the purple, we have Herno playing as the Berbers as well. I like this. This is a good combination. It's good. And then in the orange, we have Franka Met playing as the Ethiopians. Very strong civ. I must say, there's only one civilization that kind of stands out for me here, and that would be Mongols. And the reason for that is that Mongols, they lack that final armor upgrade on their cavalry in the Imperial Age. Now they have more HP on their on their Hussar line. That's true. Step Lancers as well, actually. But Step Lancers and neither Step Lancers nor Hussars are replacement for Paladin or something like that, you know. So the problem is that neither of these civilizations, Berbers included, they don't have Paladin. So that might be a bit troubling as well, especially if you're up against Franks who have maybe the best Paladin in the game all round, you know, without any extra civilization bonuses attached to it. Except the health bonus, of course. Now, I really like combining a Berbers with a Knight Civ, like Desastres have done here. Berbers and Franks just makes for a great combination. Franks, the best cavalry Civ. Berbers, or one of the best cavalry Civs. I actually think Persians is a better cavalry Civ all around, but Franks are definitely up there. And Berbers, really good spamming the Knights in Castle Age or anything from the stable, really. It's just cheaper for them. And the fact is you can make camels, right? That's why I like that combination, a camel Civ and a Knight Civ. Just in case you need to add some camels if you're up against Indians, although that will not be the case, as Green is stealing some piggies there. Which of course he will easily spot with his extra bonus. Is he gonna lame? Okay, he can't lame. That's not gonna work out here because yellow sees this. Green now taking a hit downhill as well, so we'll just have to run away here. And good thing for yellow to keep his scout nearby this, because maybe green would have been tempted to lame. He is Mongols after all. If he can get that boar back, that would be really good for his Civ, since he has that hunting bonus. Now let's do what I usually do, because there's not really much else to talk about civilization-wise, so because most of these civilizations are standard picks for Patagonia, picks we have seen all throughout this tournament, and for good reason. Instead, let's have a look at the resources for the flanks, because the flanks is where most of the aggression will take place. This is not like ranked team games or anything where people just cross over to their opposing side and, pockets attack pockets and flank attack flank, and, there's barely any cooperation between random teams, which is difficult if you go for a team with randoms. Not so much in Virgo Cup though. These teams coordinate, these teams will attack the flank and gang up on that. As we have a follow there. Thank you for the follow, Presblina. Appreciate that. So that is why I like to talk about the resources for the flanks, because that's what's important, especially the gold. So we have a forward gold for Gray, his main gold, and he does want to take that gold. He's walling towards it. That doesn't really secure your gold though. I understand it because the rest of his golds are even worse. Look at that, 2 golds right there on a hill outside of where he wants to whirl. Yeah, so Gray has a rough spot right there. I think considering how bad the golds are, he should have walled right around that. Like, you gotta invest a bit more in walling here, because now your gold is not safe. As soon as red comes forward with archers, he's just gonna sit right there and you're off a gold again. It's not ideal. Either that, we have the tower, which I think I wouldn't be too skimpy with the tower. And like but then I can't boom in the next stage. Just buy the stone. I mean, something. It's way more important that you keep control over your gold. Gold's much better for red here. He's got berries in the back. Gold technically in the back. It's more to the middle. He's probably going to wall around that, but that should be good. Has a gold in the back to fall back on, and a gold to the side as well. If he walls between these wood lines, his base would actually be walled off, but I don't think red knows that just yet. And on the other side for orange, he has a forward berries. There's a forward gold here as well to the side. That's alright. This berries is not too far away from his DC. Has a gold to the side as well. If he walls to this wood line, that would be pretty secure behind buildings. Depends how he's going to wall this. I like how that he puts the barracks and the buildings in front of the gold. That's good, you know. Some strong buildings to protect that. Let's have this up as well so you guys can see what is being created before I forget. And we'll just go to the economy part so we can see. Like, you can see the villager count. That's what matters, really. I don't really care about population in total here, but what matters more to me is to see the villager count and the resources. I want to see how much food they have, so that I know if they are close to clicking up the castle age or something like that. Now, blue and red both a bit late to the feudal age here. That's fine, that's fine. Oh, and a 4 gold for blue as well. That's rough, man. That's rough. Both players for EstamosGG have a forward main goal that they are taking and that they wall towards. So that's gonna be rough. Yeah, and then we are walling like this around this side, right? So why not just wall around the gold? All right, but it has an extra gold right there. If he walls a bit more, maybe that will be secure as well. It's also taking the deer. I like that. You know, some extra food. Why not? Especially when you're an archer player, right? Like, if you can delay your farms, that is pretty nice for an archer player, because you can invest that wood into archer ranges and into your first archers and your walls especially, right? Instead of having to go for a lot of farms. Now, that's not a problem if you're a scout player. You want your walls up anyways. Ooh, look at that green. Getting a villager, getting another villager as well on the berries for orange. Orange kind of losing 2 villagers there. Really nice snipe there for Iron Jury. That's good. That's very good. And kind of punishing orange for not really having those walls up yet. Or at least having a spearman out or something like that. And purple wasn't there yet with his scouts as well. So, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That was good though. Teal kind of looking to do the same thing on the other side, but red has fully walled his base and his gold is safely behind these walls. Like, feudal age archers should not be able to range most of these villagers. At least not these villagers on the edge. That's only in castle age that becomes a problem again, but by then you should have your own army as well. Well, Teal will just try to break in here over here through his house even. That's even more HP. Although, by the way, houses should have less armor nowadays. Like, I think in Dark Age they have -1 armor now. Instead of just the conventional 1. It was always 1, 2, 3, right? As it went up through the ages. Now it's -1, 1, 3, and then 5 in Imperial Age. Is that correct? Or is it 4? It's a little bit more. I don't know. It doesn't really matter in Imperial Age anymore. But in Dark Age, it's now -1 armor, which means that men-at-arms do 6 damage versus houses. And Magyar men-at-arms do 7 damage. Think about that. That's crazy, right? It's kind of like the melee armor for rams, is also negative. And I love that blue towered this. I love that he recognized, okay, this is not safe. This is not a safe gold. Let's just tower this and make sure I don't have to worry about running away from this gold. Especially since he was up later, right? He was up later to feudal age. So this is good. This is really good. I like that. And Gray's even walled a little bit around again. Give himself more space, but still, you know, it's still easy to range from this side. What's Teal doing? Okay, Teal and Yellow kind of sparring around here, but of course it's scary to go up against Frank scouts because they have more HP than you. Yep. And armor. Ooh. Armor as well. So Frank player here delaying his castellates a little bit by investing more food into the feudalate, but his scouts are scary now, very scary, and Teal cannot engage those on his own. But he is drawing his army away from Grey, which is also nice, allowing Grey to get forward with some archers here. Should be careful though, because you know, you don't want to lose your scouts here. And Teal now taking the fight, but you can't take this fight not without armor. He's actually getting attack first, so now it balances out again, which means the Frank scouts who still win this, since they have more HP. Now he's getting armored though, so who knows? Who knows? With armor and attack, maybe there's a shot. Also, Grey bringing his archers in as well. Red is not joining up with his archers. Red should probably join up here. Just make a hole or a gate, that's fine. Perfect. On the other side, oh, something went wrong over here for blue. Blue garrisoning in the tower, that's nice. Orange and purple, they can't get close to this. As purple definitely cannot get close to all these spearmen. That's a lot of spears that were created here. Orange taking a few shots here with his archers. As blue's spearmen are on the wrong side as well. They need to not be near the archers. And oh, wow, orange sniping a bunch of those. Green taking a fight against purple, but purple have way more scouts here, so the scouts for green have gone down, and now blue will have to abandon this wood line fast. Villagers could die. One goes down. That's pretty good. And all this time, the gold is also idle as well. Okay, now blue realizing, okay, I need to keep mining gold here, otherwise I'm not going to be able to make more of these suckers. And yeah, I think blue was trying to go for a bit more of an eco approach, right? Go up the castellates faster, considering he only made one archer range, but he's paying the price for it now, because he doesn't have the military quite to contest this. On the other side, Grey kind of doing a not doing a similar thing. He does have two archer ranges, few, because that would have been very risky if two sides tried to go for a greedy eco approach. That has not gone well for most teams, I can tell you that much. And purple and green now trying to make their way up to purple and orange now trying to make their way up to green here, who's dropping more stables. Will try to go for more scouts, but that's a problem considering purple just made it to castellates, and green is not going to be anywhere close to that if he doesn't click up now here. If he starts spamming more scouts, that's not a good idea. Although he kind of has to right now. He kind of has to make something, because army is on its way to his base. Blue is not really... He's not sending army, so he's not planning on helping. As we had a scout fight, it seems, on the hill, and it looks like yellow lost that, actually. Oh yeah, yellow and teal both on the way to castellate. I guess on this side it's more even. But green is in trouble. He's offered his gold as well. That is the only safe gold within his base, and he's not taking it right now. Has clicked up to the castellates here, is getting his upgrades. He's just trying to hope that orange and purple cannot do too much damage to his economy before he makes it to castellate. Then he can get some knights out and then maybe kill this army. Problem though is that these scouts now have +2, which means you cannot fight with villagers anymore. There's just no way. The villagers do 1 damage. It's not enough. You can't fight this anymore. And purple is very happy to just idle a wood line. Now orange of course can't get too close, but there's a hole there. There's a hole. No. No! Is that a hole? Yep, that's a hole. Oh, green. Green has just been pushed off of both his wood lines here. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, you cannot fight this. Like, normally your instinct is, okay, I'm gonna lose villagers anyways, might as well fight against the scouts. You can't fight scouts with +2. It's just... And bloodlines. There's just no way. There's just no way. And green, even though he's gonna make it to castellates, with what economy is he gonna make it? On the other side, Grey and Teal looking to do a bit better here, but Teal of course still has to run away from these knights here, Frank knights as well, with 3 bloodlines basically. As Green now tries to trap this army into his base, although Orange probably knows that this army is doomed, so he doesn't really care about that. For now, there's just nothing that Green can do to kill this. He is making he's making scouts, and the reason why he's doing that is because he does not have the gold. He doesn't have the gold here to attack these archers with knights. This is the moment where blue should probably send over some archers to help his buddy here, because he's kind of letting green die actually. Like, you're not, like, if you think about it, like, blue cannot push on his own. There's no way. That's not gonna work. Not up against the player that has been up in Castle Age just before you. Instead, just send your archers back. Help green here kill these archers before their crossbows, right? And then green can get on with the business again. He can start making knights, and now it's just gonna get let's go from bad to worse, because yes, green finally clearing up these armies that were in his base, and now the next armies are here, and this time it's knights. Lots of spearmen though for blue, and spearmen, I mean, they still do bonus damage versus knights, so at least there's that, but knights should still be able to win that. And also having +2 means that they can kill the archers, and there was no fletching on these archers as well, which means they do little to no damage to these knights. Man, green and blue are struggling right now. Struggling. They are not the ones that are going to get the push here. And purple is perfectly content to just pass by blue and run straight to green there. Who is top scorer, would he probably see as the bigger threat there. So we have camels now from the Berber player. Now you are expecting knights, so mixing in some camels is not a bad idea, in my opinion. Especially if you were behind the gas slates, because your knight numbers aren't going to be as high. I still think you should still try to make knights though, not just camels. Because the reason for that is that when you win the fight, camels aren't going to pack that much of a punch versus villagers and things like that. But this is kind of troubling. Gray's army not that high. He's also making a lot of skirmishers as well, and red and yellow are looking to do some damage here. I like that Gray did end up building that tower here. It looks really cute. On the other side, the tower for blue now going down, because towers and castle age do not hold up that well. Watchtowers just are too weak nowadays. So yeah, nice snipe there for purple, and blue is off of his gold. Not so good. And remember, green is still dealing with knights in the back of his base as well. He's trying to get a town center up on the gold as well that will at least protect that gold for now. And now they are turning their attention to blue though. And blue does not have any army whatsoever to deal with this. He lost his army in the back of green's base. And purple just going to dive and try to get these bills and the rest of the army. Very good. On the other side, red and yellow breaking through into gray's base as well, as gray tried to keep that out, trying to save his villages, and they realize they are just being overwhelmed on both flanks. Disastrous winning the first game as the GG is called. And yeah, this is a GG moment, by the way. This is, I mean, like, you can always keep trying, but once you have to, you know, once your pocket is damaged, once both your flanks are under siege in castle age, that is when you know this game will not be long. At that point, and GG indeed. Very nice, very nice. Let me update the scoreboard here. That score. First point of the day goes to Desastres C. Alrighty, well, I mean, if you have to analyze this, right, like, for one, EstamosGG had horrible base layouts, right? I mean, I'm talking about, like, the resources. Like, both of their main goals forward, and then not having any real safe golds to put, right? Like, I guess blue had this gold, which is, well, not really that safe either. It's right next to a hill, so that doesn't work in your favor either. That means you have to go really aggressive and make sure all the fights happen around your opponent's base. That unfortunately didn't happen on blue side, because they kept their army pretty passively. At least blue did. Green went forward with scouts and actually killed some villagers, which was really good. But after that, like, there was no attack from blue. He just kept in feudal age, and instead it was purple and orange who attacked blue. I would, for one, never wall to the gold. Like, I think it's always worth it to just wall around that, just to make sure archers can't range you. If you then drop a tower, that kind of mitigates that, but it's not like a stop all kind of solution. You still have to make military. And blue, only on one range for most of the time, didn't have that much military to defend himself. And I like the move from orange and purple to just go and harass green, who had a better economy than blue, by the way, and was a bigger threat. And I like that, because they completely stopped them from making knights, like kicking off of this very important goal, and then just basically idling his entire economy. That already set this flank back big time. So it came down to gray and teal on this side, and they were holding this hill that was really nice. But then at some point, gray just didn't have the army to stop yellow and red here, and they just pushed right into his base. And how you doing, Rock Knuckles? How you doing? Glad to see you here, man. Alright, but that will be my analysis at least. Let's have a quick look at the statistics, but we don't have too much time for this kind of shenanigans today, because we have so many statistics to go through after all these games. Yeah, great KD there for purple. He killed a lot of villagers and units as well, so that was really good. As you know, and as well as using knights against archers with no fletching. Those archers are not going to do much to you, that's for sure. 1 damage actually. And then, although, you know, if you think about it, right? If you have knights with 4 pierce armor and archers do 4 damage, shouldn't they, like, just do 0 damage if you think about it? Like, shouldn't the armor really just negate the whole damage of it? You know? Like, Nah, I mean, that would be kind of crazy, I guess, but, because that would mean that unfletched archers could literally do nothing against knights with chain barding armor. How you doing, Nico? Glad to see you as well. And I know what team you are from now, because you all changed your names, which just makes it very nice, handy for me. Now I know exactly who you are. All right, well, this is the, you know, KD wise that looked pretty good. If you looked at the vill counts, good boom there for purple. Yeah. Teal and green were on their way. They were at least keeping up with yellow here, so that's comparable. But yeah, purple, he could just add 3 town centers and go for straight boom, something that green could not do. So that makes sense to me. It was a clear win. So let's see what EstamosGG can do in the second game then, because you know, this is going to be their home map, and it will be Pagoda. Okay, awesome. Well, if you are ready, I am ready. Let's go. Like I said, like you probably saw from the schedule, we have a lot of sets to go through today, so we are, you know, keeping a good tempo here as we go into the second game of the day. This will be this is the home map for EstamosGG, so let's introduce them first. Well, let me put this to Gaia. There we go. In any case. So, welcome to Pagoda. I will explain everything about the map in just a second. Let's first introduce the players. In the blue, we have Iron Cherry playing as the Sicilians. Interesting. Then we have El Cochinote playing as the Saracens in the green. In the gray, we have Zippo playing as the Japanese. And then, last but not least, we have Fabricio, who didn't play last game, but is going to fall in for his team today, playing as the Byzantines in the teal. And on the other side, we have War Machine now as the flank here, playing as Magyars. I like that. In the orange, we have Herno playing as the Saracens. Very good as well. Then we have yellow Alejo Kamet playing as the Vikings. God, I love Vikings. That's such a great pick. And then here, purple Thran Kamet playing as the Italians. Very good water civ as well. So, yeah, I mean, as you know, every team could pick whatever civ they wanted besides the global bans, of course. So you're going to see some mirror matchups here. Like, that's why we have 2 Saracen players on the map. Otherwise, we just would run out of civilizations, because it's 5, you know, you need to draft for 5 games. That's 20 civilizations. We don't have that many civs. Yet, that is, yet. We'll get there. One day, we'll have enough civilizations that we can actually ban 5 civs. You know, have a global ban for 5 civs, and then have teams pick individual unique civs. Maybe one day, but we're not there yet. In any case, let's talk about the map, shall we? So, Pagoda, named after this pagoda in the middle of the map here, surrounded by a giant forest, which usually has one little chink, well, not a chink, a chip into it. That's the word. Where there's some gold and some stone. And this is where the most wood is on the map, as blue tried to snipe a villager here, but I don't think you're gonna... Nah, you're not gonna get that, because red is paying attention to that now. But nice attempt, though. Nice attempt. Yeah, that's where most of the wood is, in the middle of the map. Now, there's also some extra resources spread around the main island, and as you probably have noticed, there's only 2 players for each team on every island. Oh yeah, you have 3 boars, by the way, just so you know. Yeah, so the flank players, that will be blue, gray, red, and orange, they start on the central island of Pagoda. They will have to vie for themselves against their opponents by themselves without the help from half the team. As red is chasing back this scout. Now red, of course, also knows exactly where blue is. Pretty good to know as well. But yeah, so this turn will turn into a little 2v2 or even individual 1v1s, right? Pretty exciting. Now, the literal pocket players here, as you can see, green, teal, yellow, and purple, they sit in the corner of the map on a very secure island that they cannot get raided from, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Instead, they will probably go for water, they will fish, and they will fight over all the fish that you can see around the edge of the map. Yes, there's some relics there as well. There is some hostile monks that will convert your villagers if they get too close. Like, that actually happened to a few players. If a monk happens to spawn close to the edge. Not seeing any monks close enough to convert villagers on the mainland. Oh, that's one might. If you send a villager here to dock, that monk might convert you. I haven't seen him convert ships yet. I think that was the intention, right? That they would convert ships as well. But yeah, I haven't seen that just yet. They usually just get killed before that. But yeah, that's the, well, that will be the map for you today. And, oh god, I like this a lot. This is really good. So one thing that I really have consistently said about Pagoda as a map is that, yes, I know you're on land. I know that it's risky with the wood supply and things like that. But you should still dock. Right? Like, too often do flank players just rely on land economy instead of trying to go for a dock as well. As blue as loom, so yeah, so red should run away from that as well. Right, so what I'm saying is like blue should dock, and gray has docked. This is good. And there's a lot of extra food that you can be taking. And if your team wins water, you get to take food from the back of the base here for free. Food economy that cannot be raided because your team has won water. You know, so always either add a dock at the start for, you know, for some food, or add a dock somewhere down the line, you know, at some point. As Orange tried to lame this boar as well, but Gray's going to push that away with some villagers and a scout. As who's going to win that? Okay, Orange is going to run away. He realizes fighting around villagers not the best of ideas. And there he goes. So yeah, that is basically the map. Now, civilization-wise, and interestingly too, is that Yellow already transported some of his villagers to the mainland. Now, this is a risk, because one, you need to invest into a transport ship, which does not come free nowadays if you have Sicilians on the team. Not that they had Sicilians on the team, but still. That's a lot of wood investment, and villagers that are not currently really working right now. So, he's probably going to build a lumber camp, I hope, in the middle, or at some point. But yeah, you do want to transport your villagers at some point because you will want to join your team on the mainland as well. And it looks like Purple is going to do that as well. You know, I do like the fact that we already have some villagers on the mainland. You know, just to make sure that you cannot be blocked if your opponent does win water. And how are you doing, Chancellaro? Going well with me. I'm right in my element here, casting Virgo Cup. That's exactly what I want to be doing today. There were some fun games yesterday, by the way. I really enjoyed that. We should do that more often. That's actually a lot of fun. Who would have thought? Having a stream and then being able to play with viewers, and that would be fun. I like it. In any case, as this crocodile smells blood and wants to have some, but that's not going to happen. But yeah. Interesting strategy here from Gray and Blue. So what they are doing here, they're just walling up the entire, the entire left and right side, trying to keep their economy more secure. That's probably also a realization that Desastres is really strong on land, right? They proved that in last game on Patagonia that they are an imposing team to play against, right? So maybe keeping yourself a bit safe with walls is a good idea. Also, buying your team a bit more time to go for water, which is probably the intention here for teal and green. And you're good too, Chancellor. That's awesome. Glad everyone's doing all right. Well, Gray did get the walls up, so the walls are up, so not that Orange and Red can really do a rush now at this point, which the Magyar player will not be happy about. I was about to comment on that, saying that the Magyar player, very aggressive civilization, and... This is interesting, because what is this telling us? What is this telling us? This is telling us that Yellow and Red and Purple aren't planning on going to water at all. Yeah, look, that's one dock. They are not going to go to water. They are not going to fight. They didn't even add a lot of fishing ships either. They just made the dock for a transport ship, and they're going to go to the mainland. So what they want to do here, they want to go aggressive on land with a lot of land military and try to overwhelm blue and gray. And I'm not sure if blue and gray will expect this, because this is also the thing, right? When you wall like this, you are not going to be likely to scout around your opponent's base. Like, I would have honestly tried to keep my scout on the other side, and so I can at least see what my opponents are doing. Like, see if Gray scouts this, right? He sees these buildings. That should immediately tell him, wait a minute, that is too much wood investment on land. That must mean water is off the table here. And I think Teal is going to find out about this in a second here, and he should immediately report that to his teammates. Like he's right now, right? He's like going forward. He's like, yeah, let's go and kill them. Let's go and kill them. And he's just looking around. He's like, wait, but did I miss them? Did I miss this warships? Like he patrolled them forward, right? Like expecting to run into you know, his team, into his opponent's ships. He's like, wait, I didn't run into anyone, really? Because normally your opponents on the pocket do go for water, but that's just not the plan for purple here. Steele's gonna find that out. He's looking for a dock. He's like, wait, what? What is this? I mean, look how many ships he has made already. That's 6 ships, 2 more on the way here, and they're absolutely wasted. In total here. And he's probably sitting there like, but wait, that's not how this map's supposed to be played. Instead, orange and blue and red working together here, breaking through Gray's walls, and these are archers with fletching. These are Magyar scouts, which have extra attack and are cheaper as well, which means you can make more. And Gray right now is not loving life. I mean, they should have expected an attack like this, at least on one side anyways. You know, like, if you put walls up like that, of course your enemy is going to try to break through. Gray here walling in his wood lines. Nice job. But yeah, the problem is now blue, despite being behind a giant wall, still has to make military to protect himself. You know, they wanted to sit behind walls, they wanted to be safe, they wanted to be protected, things like that. But, well, that's not going to end up happening for them, that's for sure. Now, I like the reaction from Teal. Look what Teal's doing. He's making a transport ship right now, which means he's going to transport some villagers to the mainland himself. Because he realizes that, well, Gray and Blue are going to be under siege here in a second. As Orange finding the fish for Gray as well. But these are Japanese fishing ships. They don't die to arrows at all. Look at this. 6 pierce armor. Yeah, that's not going to work out for you, mate. That's not going to work out. As Gray's desperately trying to plug this hole here. But the scouts just massacring more villagers here. I mean, for now, it keeps out any reinforcement that orange and red want to send through here. But for now, there's just no army in gray and blue space that can contest this, that can fight against this. And the strategy from blue and gray getting punished right now. You know, going for less military, trying to go behind walls, trying to get up the castle age as fast as possible. It gets punished big time. And the worst part is that purple and yellow could soon join as well, as they have gone up the castle age here. Like, they're not going to go to water. I mean, honestly, the Viking player not going to water makes some sense. Like, it makes sense to go fast castle with Vikings. And then just go for longbows. That makes a lot of sense to me, honestly. But I'm still not convinced that yellow is actually going to do that. I don't think so. I think they're just going to go for land. As blue is making green is making a bunch of transport ships. I hope he realizes he has another one in the queue. As Gray continues to lose more units here, Blue even has to send over some skirmishers, which have no upgrades, by the way, so that's going to be a problem. You kind of need to have, at least get the armor upgrade, right? That's something you need. Nice micro there from both players, but yeah, Orange does get the snipe, and now Red is here with some scouts as well, and scouts will make quick work of these skirmishers. And Blue and Gray are not loving life right now. They are absolutely hating life right now, I can tell you that. This is probably not the start that they had hoped for on this map for sure. Because in the end, they still have to make military, and they are behind the castle age now. Yellow has clicked up, red has clicked up, purple is already in the next stage, and orange has clicked up as well. Gray has clicked up, but blue is not. He's been making skirmishers, which is extra food as well. it's just really rough. It's just really rough. Like, this army is much stronger than this army, especially in HP, especially in the punch that it packs. And remember, these are also Saracen archers, which is why they were able to break through this house foundation in the first place as fast as they did. It's just been really good from Desastres here. Just the aggression, denying that free boom, that greedy boom from EstamosGG, and that is good. That's well played. Red keeps his scouts around just to make short work of these skirmishers. Saracen archers almost breaking through this house. They will be crossbows in a second as well. Grey will make it to Castle Age, but is he going to survive beyond that? That is the question. And all this navy is not going to do much. I mean, you can't snipe enemy fishing ships if there are no fishing ships, right? Yeah, it's now Grey does make it to Castle Age here. But now you're up against crossbows. There's going to be knights in a second as well, probably when Red gets to Castle Age. Yep, there's the knights. And now Grey has to abandon the gold, and the villagers can't even run away easily because Orange is blocking that path as well. So many villagers going down here for Grey. Kill count now for him, 32. And dropping 28 in total. So many villagers dying at the same time even. And this is the moment where the Saracen archers like, that's nice, that's a cute town center you got there. Guess what? I have an attack bonus versus buildings. I will easily take that down. And look how fast that TC is going to go down. And what can Grey do against it? Absolutely nothing. He doesn't have the resources for anything right now. Look, there's no food. He doesn't have any food economy as well, except beyond the fishing ships, which aren't as efficient anymore at this point. Because they have to stay away from the coastline, so they have to fish further out. So it takes a while before the food comes in. As Orange actually managed to... he walked all the way around. There was actually a pathway somehow through these wood lines to get to the back of Grey's base here. Look at that. Through the middle even. I'm telling you, this wood line is treacherous, man. And Red was actually going to send his knight in here as well. So that's good from Grey to address that in time. But yeah, Grey already losing his base. And right now, EstamosGG are just losing ground on the mainland fast. But here comes Teal. Teal landing in front of Grey's base, maybe hoping to keep purple and orange away from Grey's base. Although Grey, of course, doesn't have that much on land anymore. Byzantines, of course, can make cheaper camels. I think they're 25% cheaper. I think that's what the number was. That's just their counter unit bonus. As Orange doesn't care about this watchtower. We'll just force this down. And my god, this is what Saracens do best, man. This is what they do best. You know, it's even better if you are like Ethiopians with the Saracen team bonus, or Britons with more range, or even Bohemians with chemistry. As Blue tries to drop a castle, but you can't drop a castle without map control here. Lots of villages already going down. These knights do have +2, but there's too many crossbows, I think. And Red also kind of distracting here as well. Orange is even focusing down the villagers. He's trying to. This is where you hold Alt on your keyboard. If you hold Alt, you can click these villagers. Without clicking the castle. And I think Orange would have been able to deny this castle, honestly. But it will go up because the Sicilian castle does go up 100% faster. And the only reason that this went up was because this was a Sicilian castle. And up it goes, but the question is, it doesn't really save the rest of your economy now, does it? This is also the moment where Red and Yellow could always switch over to the other side for Blue, which is more vulnerable now because all the fortifications are in the back of Blue's base, probably not where he intended those castles to go. Orange and Purple just streaming in more units here. Teal still trying to fight. Still trying to fight on his own on this side, but of course he's up against crossbows, he's up against knights from 2 players. He tried to stop this town center as well, but that got up in the end as well. And this is the irony, right? They won water, but they're still not winning this game. It's because water is only half the aspect. Like, water is a springboard, right? It catapults you to the Imperial Age faster because of your fish economy. But in the end, the battle is won on land. It's won on the mainland. And Desastres, they're bringing all their military over to the right side, and it's so difficult. You know, they are just like, well, you walled this up. We don't have to protect or fight on this side if you walled it up. Like this, you walled us out, but really you walled yourself in. So instead, we'll just attack on the other side. And that's that. As Gray's trying to fish still, but yeah, Red's gonna deny that, simply just taking away the docks, and then you can't fish anymore, so... what do you do in this situation, man? What do you do? I mean, Gray is in a really bad spot already. He's down to... He's still at 33 villagers, which also includes fishing ships, by the way. Not really taking a lot of, you know, he's not really able to take a lot of safe resources beyond wood and stone right now. So his fishing ship's working, so at least there is that, but he doesn't have a town center. Actually he does, never mind, I lied. Does have a town center, we'll add some economy here then. They have to hold this bridge, this bridgehead here. Like, you cannot give up on this foothold on land, because it's gonna be so difficult to land on the mainland if you lose absolute control over the middle. And of course, that's where all the wood and extra resources are. You cannot yield those to your opponent. As Teal now finding out the hard way that fighting with camels against crossbows is very difficult, because they lack that pierce armor. They only have 2. And that's just from the armor upgrades. They don't have any base pierce armor, so crossbows do really well against camels. And then the worst thing also, is there not a hole there? Oh, that's not a hole then. The worst thing also is that even if you do manage to get through your opponent's base, they don't have the base attack to kill villagers that quickly, right? Knights do that much better. Camels only have 6 attack, knights have 10 at base attack, like, Jesus. And F for Zippo, yeah, F for Zippo for sure, man. And how you doing, Dragan? Good to see you here, man. It's just, it has not worked out. And that's the thing with any strategy, you know, any strategy is that it all looks good when it works out. If it doesn't work out, it looks bad, right? That's just how strategies work. Now, green and blue, they do have some army on the field. I like that. Lots of army. That should be enough to deny this, actually. Let's see. +1, +2. Maybe. Let's see how this fight is going to go. This is a pretty big fight here. Orange could lose all his crossbows, because that's a lot of knights coming in here from the Sicilian player and the Saracen player. Oh god, Saracen knights. Knights, you cannot upgrade in Imperial Age, but who cares about that at this point? We might not even get to Imperial Age at this rate. Orange micros away his crossbows very well. Oh, he could sit into the choke point. Okay, great. This is your moment. Delete the buildings. Delete the buildings, Gray. Gray. Delete them. Ah! This is too nice of a choke point. Okay, Gray should really delete these buildings right now. But, anyways, the armies for red and purple did go down here. Like, that was enough army from green and blue to swing this fight into their favor. So maybe there's still a shot. I mean, they're holding for now. But they need to get a push going at some point, because the other team will be going up the Imperial Age. Yeah, red clicking up, purple has clicked up. Teal's on the way as well. That's good. Of course, Byzantines have an easier time doing that, considering they have a cheaper Imperial Age upgrade. Now, Gray should delete these buildings, right? Like, you're not going to use that archer range anyway, so delete the houses, delete that, so that this army can engage the crossbows and kill it, right? So that it's gone. But yeah, oh boy, the entire EstamosGG team here going up to Imperial Age, and the Vikings player is making longbows again. So even when they thought, oh, we won water, here come the longbows. Because yellow realizes, I'm not needed on land right now. And truly, he isn't. But yeah, green and blue, using that army advantage they have right now to try to punch back here. But now orange and yellow, gathering their forces here. I think that's just a bit too much military here for blue and green to fight, and they realize that, so they're going to retreat for now. Ironically, I don't think Gray deleted those. I think Orange shot himself out there so he could escape with his archers. I wonder what Teal's gonna be doing here in Imperial Age. He's gonna go for the skirmisher upgrade. Okay, cheap trash. That's what we're gonna go for then. That will go. Well, that will do well against the crossbows, but the knights can make short work of that. And I think the Magyar player will definitely have an answer to that for now. Longbows. God, I love longbows. They're so nice to work with. They're so easy to micro as well, you know, for ships, that is. And they just crush everything but caravels, you know. It's just awesome. Haraka Gray's adding fishing economy is even stonewalling the left side here, because they realize this position is strenuous at best, right? It's not a very good foothold that they have over here. And the thing is, though, look how much army Desastres has in this one spot here. They know this army is there. So they could decide, instead of trying to defend their own base, to push out here and run into red base, where he doesn't have a lot of protection whatsoever. Like, if you have knights with +2, you can run in here. There's even a hole right there. You can run in here and wreck this. That will force Desastres to send reinforcements back home. They can't keep their army around here all the time, because now you're allowing them to gather their armies here, and they can push in the back of your base. And yeah, your armies are just kind of sitting there idle. They're not doing anything. You're just defending a front line. Like, that would be, for me, that would be a right call here. I mean, they can't know, right? They can't know whether red space is unprotected or not. They probably expect, oh, there must be a castle here or something like that. There is nothing. There's literally nothing here right now. All this is unprotected. Like, this army, all this army is going to go to the right here. Is at the front here. Like, they can even see that this army is here because they have the vision through gray. Like, they know it's here. And you have some castles here, you know, they buy some time. Just send your armies forward, crush their economy, force them to send reinforcements, and then you send army to the front to take fights. Because if they reinforce in the back, their armies on the front will be weaker. Now, blue and green are on the way to Imperial Age, but that's also a problem. That's going to take a while. That's a 3-minute upgrade right there. 3 minutes in which your opponents have a huge tech advantage over you as well. And I think I know what's in those siege work. Oh, I guess I don't know that. I thought it was going to be bombard cannons, but orange doesn't have chemistry in yet. That will come in right now. At that point, his arbalest will be very strong at taking out buildings, that's for sure. As the battering rams come out here. And yeah, this castle is set to go down here, and that's the thing. Like, now you're here, you still can't fight these armies, and you can't do any counter damage as well. And yeah, they're just going to be pushing with Imperial Age army. Now, I like to see bombard cannons, honestly. Like, get some bombard cannons out. Saracens get those, so that's pretty nice. And the castle will go down. Yeah, Saracen archers helping, cavalry, battering rams. Like, what do you do? And no, there's a hole! Oh, God! If you thought it could get worse there for EstamosGG, hole on the wood line as well. And now this army can easily run through the front here. And they still can't fight this. They still can't fight it. They still don't have their upgrades. And the worst part for green, I mean, is that he has to get 2 upgrades. He has to get, well, if he wants heavy camels, that is, he needs to get that upgrade. That takes a while. And cavalier takes a while as well. As blue now takes a fight before he makes it to Imperial Age. His knights are getting shredded by the arbalest. Same thing for blue, for green, I mean, who did get the final armor upgrade, but not yet. Not yet any of the other upgrades. He's actually going to go for heavy camels now. I think that's better. Well, no, actually I don't know about that, because yes, you're up against more cavalier, but look how many arbalests are right here. Camels are just gonna get shredded to death here. As green is throwing his units at this giant mass of arbalest. Like, there's just so little that can kill this many arbalests here. It's onager shots that you kind of need to be hoping for. You know, maybe mass elite skirmishers. At least there's that, but they're distracted by the rams right now. That's why having rams in front of your archers is so OP. And this is the thing. They were just waiting for this, right? They were waiting to defend like this, but I didn't think they were going to be able to hold off against 4 Imperial Age armies here at the same time. Siege Ram is now in for the Saracen player as well. They will make short work of any of these buildings as the final army for EstamosGG do go down here. And I think EstamosGG probably, you know, are GG here, you know. Yeah, and the GG is called. And they realized that there's no hope here. That their strategy, it just didn't pan out. The aggression from Desastres was enough to punish that, get a lead, and they never let go of that lead. We're just able to boom behind all of this. Got a significant vill lead as well if you compare the vill counts. Yeah, I'd say so. Like, overall, more villages for Desastres. Of course, their bases were never really destroyed. Yeah, there you go. The GG is called. And poor Gray, man. Poor Gray. He got wrecked at the start there, man. That sucks. He was ganged up upon. That was pretty smart from red and purple, red and orange, I mean, to pool their units and work together there. And there we go. GG. Alrighty. It was a good game, though. It was a really good game. I really enjoyed that. It's 2-0, 0-2 now, I mean. Yeah, and that's all I can say, right? Like the strategy approach here for EstamosGG wasn't bad. It was a strategy we have seen countless times, a strategy that has even won many times before, where you just wall up and your team wins water, which is what they were set to do. The thing is, that's not what Desastres was doing. Desastres might have, maybe they saw EstamosGG do it before, maybe they anticipated that was going to be the strategy somehow, but whatever they did, they countered it with a strategy of their own, which was, we are not going to go to water, this will slow down our pockets, but instead we're going to go to land, and everyone goes to land, and we will attack all at the same time on the right side. And that was way too much for Gray to handle on his own. Like his house went down, he got raided, fell behind there, and then Blue and Gray had to delay their economy again to try to defend themselves, so they were up the castellates later than Desastres, which was absolutely not what the plan was. Yeah, and Desastres never gave up this hold. They never gave up that lead. They could just boom behind that a little bit, add economy here as well. Now, I think there was a moment, right, when Desastres was going up the Imperial Age, they kept their armies around here. They were just sitting there idling. I think that was a moment that Green and Blue, who did have army with +2, could have run into Red's base. His castle was not there yet. Looks like Blue actually wanted to drop a castle of his own, but Red was ahead of him. Could have ran into Red's base here and killed a lot of villagers on the wood line on the farms, because there was no defenses here whatsoever. Nothing. Nothing. That would have forced Desastres to at least split up their army to address that and send troops back to deal with that. That could have been a nice move. That's easy for us to see because we have a nice bird's eye view, right? They don't have that. In any case, well played by both teams. And this is where I have to, unfortunately, as we go, just have a look at the statistics here. You can see the army count for Desastres much higher than it was for EstamosGG. That definitely doesn't help here. Looking at the vill counts here. Yeah, overall, if you average them out, well, it's actually not that far apart, actually. It's not that far apart if you concern villager highs. I guess they went for a bit of low eco shenanigans as well. Yeah, as you can see, it's still economy-wise pretty equal, but the military count was much higher for Desastres. And in the end, military wins battles. Now, as I was saying, unfortunately, this is where I have to admit that this was the final game in this set. Because EstamosGG, after this, either decided to throw in the towel, or maybe there was something that disallowed them from continuing to play. So from here on, it was an admin win for Desastres. So they do go on to the finals, getting through the semifinals here. And I know that's kind of anticlimactic. Yeah, but I still wanted to catch the games because I assumed they would be good games, and they were good games. So chapeau for EstamosGG, of course, for making this far, and congratulations for Desastres C, making it to the finals, and deservedly so. Deservedly so. They were one of the strongest teams in Category C. I remember that. So that's going to be exciting for them.